This is Graptoveria Fred Ives, apparently improperly known as Echeveria Fred Ives as well. So this is a lovely succulent. I went through the trouble of putting a black background behind this because it really shows the color in the foliage, and that to me is the huge appeal of this plant. You see pinks and orange and some yellow and a little purple in there, lavender, a lot of color, green. And this was taken in midsummer. So to give you a background, I live in a hot inland valley. So during the summer we were getting temperatures 90 to 100 degrees on a regular basis. We have cool evenings in the high 50s. Most nights. I live in the East Bay area around San Francisco, but because we're over the hill, we get warmer, but we're close enough to have cool evenings. So what I've seen is different photographs of this, and a lot of the ones I've seen, they're fairly orangey, amber colored. And so if you're seeing other photos that don't seem to jive with this, I think you're going to find that a lot of that has to do with the climate that these are grown in. I've seen a ton of variation. And that said, we're just finishing winter. We're having an early spring now. It's April where I am, and with these I've just had over a pretty rough winter by our standards. So what that means is they've gone through low temperatures in the probably around 25 degrees Fahrenheit, and we had a solid week where every night it was in the high to mid 20s Fahrenheit, and these weathered that just fine. So I'm thinking that these probably can handle close to 20 degrees Fahrenheit because they handled around 25 no problem. They certainly changed their color, and there's a few burned leaves, but a lot of it just looks like the natural thing that plants go through during the winter. So I don't think that's a huge concern. So that gives you some sense of hardiness. These are very drought tolerant once they need almost no water during the summer once they're established. And the size is about 9 to 15 inches tall by maybe 12 to 24 inches wide. They clump. They have side branching. You see some of the mini florets here on the side, and then also in the you'll see some flower stems there. I didn't think the flowers were so great on these. There you see it right to the left, upper left there. The flower color wasn't much to talk about. These are really for me about their foliage. I like the shape of the leaves also, the florets. Very interesting in terms of just interest. So I think these are great used in a pot. As you can see here, this was given to me by a client, and I really just kept it there and have enjoyed it quite a bit. That size, I think they're appropriate for that. When I've seen them used in the landscape, I think they get pretty rough looking, and I would say that you'd want to pinch these back as they start to sprawl out, like a lot of different succulents. As they sprawl out and get older, really lose a lot of their appeal, in my opinion. So I would recommend in the spring pinching these back so they clump and get denser, so you get this look that you're seeing here. I think those are the main things to cover. So you've got the temperature range. They can handle a lot of heat up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, no problem. And the cold that I mentioned, very drought tolerant, as well as well-drained soil, by the way. That's very important with a lot of these succulents, is they need well-drained soil. So enjoy that one. Great foliage, hard to beat that color.